This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It's Thursday, February 4th.
Well, Pahrump Town Manager Tim Sutton filed an ethics complaint against Nye County Commissioner Leo Blundo in November. Sutton alleged Blundo should have abstained from voting on a matter that ultimately benefited his local restaurant financially. Now it appears the Attorney General's office will not pursue any charges against him. Speaking to reporters outside the Nye County Administration building today, Blundo says he feels relieved.
I stand before you today, a relieved man and a man who feels vindicated. Professing your innocence is an exhausting endeavor, but one where conviction and determination are essential. My family and I have gone through tremendous trials since Thanksgiving Day. We've suffered financially. My son has dealt with situations at school no child should have to. And to the stress of the allegations against me, ended up causing my mother to have a heart attack just this past Friday. No family should have to go through this. On January 27th, the Attorney General, Aaron Ford, decided after a thorough investigation that no charges warranted being filed. And let me be clear, no charges being filed. These were allegations to begin with. While my experience has been unpleasant, it did not happen in vain. I've learned a lot. I've learned that vindictive and malicious behavior can and does exist in government, even local government. My focus can now be back on my family, my business, and most importantly, the business of the people I humbly represent. I'll close with the quote from Abraham Lincoln. Truth is generally the best vindication against slander. Today, truth prevails.
In a written statement today, Sutton says he's disappointed the AG's office apparently dismissed the matter. Sutton filed the complaint after Blundo failed to abstain from a vote that involved COVID relief money for businesses. The passage of that measure ultimately allowed Blundo's restaurant, Carmelo's Bistro, to get a larger chunk of COVID relief money.
In other local news, law enforcement apprehended a suspect in a shooting that happened Wednesday here in Pahrump.
On February 3rd at approximately 11 a.m., the Nye County Sheriff's Office responded to a call of a possible self-inflicted gunshot wound. The caller stated that her son called saying that the victim had shot herself. When deputies arrived on scene, they found a female with a gunshot wound to the leg. During the initial investigation, the victim stated that she had been accidentally shot while she and the suspect were struggling over a gun. The suspect had fled the scene by the time officers arrived. The victim was transported via Mercy Air to a Las Vegas trauma center for treatment. The investigation has revealed that the suspect, Trevor Brown, 19 of Pahrump, allegedly intentionally shot the victim as they argued over keys. At the time, deputies were unable to locate Brown. Other Nevada agencies were notified to aid in locating him. Brown was later found in the Las Vegas area by Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, who followed his vehicle until he left Clark County and entered Pahrump. Nye County deputies met him at the county line where they initiated a traffic stop and took him into custody. Brown was arrested and charged with attempted murder, battery with a deadly weapon, robbery with a deadly weapon, and discharge of a firearm within a structure.
And we now know the names of the suspects caught after attempting to flee from Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies this past weekend.
24-year-old Hugo Ramirez and 21-year-old Eliza Correa are facing a list of charges after trying to flee from officers Saturday. Nye County deputies received a tip about stolen vehicles possibly in the Pahrump area. Officers spotted two suspicious vehicles at AutoZone in Pahrump, but when deputies tried to make contact with the occupants of those vehicles, one of them, an orange and black Mustang, sped off, leading police on a high-speed pursuit into California. Troopers eventually caught up to the Mustang in Barstow, where they arrested 25-year-old Jesus Correa and 31-year-old Sandra Majano. They're in custody and awaiting extradition back to Nevada. Meantime, Ramirez and Eliza Correa also tried to escape. In the process, their vehicle struck two patrol vehicles, injuring one officer. Eliza Correa was apprehended immediately. Ramirez took off on foot, ditching a bag and a gun along the way. The sheriff's office says he tried to steal another vehicle at Pahrump Auto Plaza but was unsuccessful. He ran into the dealership where he was tackled by employees and held until officers arrived. Ramirez is now facing a number of charges, including possession of a controlled substance, possessing or receiving a stolen vehicle, owning or possessing a gun by a prohibited person, conspiracy to buy or receive stolen property, resisting a public officer, and attempted robbery. Eliza Correa is also facing a charge of possession of a controlled substance, possessing or receiving a stolen vehicle, and buying or receiving stolen property. All of the suspects are from California.
All right, don't grab that remote. We'll be right back with much more local and national financial news.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by P&P Property Management. Knowledge, experience, communication, and trust. Call Cynthia at 775-727-4444.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, Janet Yellen is calling a meeting to talk about the sudden surge of shorted stocks. Reddit trader admits losing big money this week on a stock sell-off. And Daimler is splitting into two businesses. More on all this in your Business First Brief.
Topping our news, in one of her first moves as Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen is calling a meeting to take on that sudden surge of shorted stocks, including GameStop, AMC, and Bed Bath & Beyond, as well as silver. According to Reuters, that meeting will include members of the Federal Reserve, the Securities Exchange Commission, along with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. In one of the trades gone wrong, a Reddit trader who claims to have made tens of millions of dollars leading amateur investors into that surge to buy shares of GameStop admits losing $13 million this week when the stock sold off. Daimler is splitting the company into two businesses. Daimler Truck will focus on hydrogen fuel cell technology, and Mercedes-Benz will target luxury electric cars using batteries. Daimler makes more commercial trucks and buses than any other automaker in the world.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks, Angela. Well, Nevada Highway Patrol will once again focus on impaired drivers. Beginning today through February 13th, NHP will work to identify and apprehend impaired drivers. In 2018 alone, 133 people died on Nevada's roadway in crashes that involved the driver who was under the influence and not just of alcohol. Impaired driving is consuming anything that has an effect on your ability to safely operate a motor vehicle. Be responsible. There's no excuse for driving under the influence. That's what NHP is telling us. And if you are impaired, do not drive. Whether is a designated driver or a public transportation or a rideshare service, everyone should plan ahead. Don't take a chance of making a poor decision that could end in tragedy.
And speaking of a traffic stop in Pahrump leads to the arrest of a man who now faces several charges.
Conrad Wallace is under arrest and facing a felony charge of possessing or receiving a stolen vehicle, one count of failure to possess a certificate of registration, one count of driving without a license, and one count of failure to provide proof of insurance. A Nye County Sheriff's Office deputy observed a gray van swerve into oncoming traffic on Blagg Road near Mesquite Avenue. The deputy says he also noticed the vehicle did not display a license plate. After stopping the van near Blagg and Blosser Ranch Road, Wallace told the officer he did not have a valid license, which was verified through dispatch. The deputy says Wallace also told him the van was not his and he could not provide any paperwork for the vehicle. A records check of the VIN number returned to a stolen vehicle out of Las Vegas. The deputy also determined the vehicle did not have a valid registration or insurance coverage. Wallace was placed under arrest and booked into the Nye County Detention Center.
Thanks to Brad Francis for that report. Well, Scott Lewis, Director of Emergency Management, delivered his report regarding the COVID-19 outbreak. Lewis was able to detail vaccine allocation for all of Nye County.
Nye County continues to be in a flag status as significant increases in the COVID cases and the test positivity rates continue to increase. Almost every new case is in Pahrump. Specifically, Pahrump is up to 2,417 cases that have been managed, 69 in Amargosa, 23 in Beatty, 116 in Tonopah, 18 in Smoky Valley, 4 in Manhattan, and 1 in Gabbs. We have also had an increase up to 78 deaths, including 2 that were received earlier this morning. Our hospitalization in Pahrump remains elevated with experiences up to and including 90% capacity. Several Nye County cases remain on ventilators in Las Vegas-based hospitals. When we're talking today about the vaccination, you may recall that the playbook had changed with the approach. During the last meeting, we discussed the tiered approach and then followed up by respective lanes. We are currently following that playbook, and we've been successfully vaccinating individuals throughout Nye County. We have addressed the fact that we are still continuing with the Moderna product, which in approximately 30 days you receive your second vaccination. All the steps have been closely managed and working closely with our partners, including the state, which include the Immunize Nevada, Battleborn with the vaccinators, state vaccinators, the pharmacy board, Nye County Sheriff's Office, and also now with the VA clinic. Specifically, our allocations of vaccines are still not what we would hope they would be. We hope that will change in the next several weeks. But as we spoke about in the last BOCC meeting, we have held pods in Railroad Valley, Tonopah, Beatty, Amargosa, and Pahrump. The pods have included both first and second doses. And as you may recall, we spoke the second doses will always be primary, and the new doses will always, at least at this point, will be subject to change in the numbers that we request versus those that are allocated to Nye County. Thus far, we've vaccinated approximately 1,600 throughout the county, and we are conducting 4 pods this week. Those pods are currently in the north end yesterday and today, and then we will be moving to the south end this week. PVFRS, Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue, will also be assisting the VA clinic starting this coming weekend. Veterans who are scheduled through the VA will receive vaccines at their clinic. Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue will be providing the EMS support for that endeavor. We're also working closely with the pharmacy board. The board is assisting us in the locations both in north and south in providing vaccinations through an appointment process that they are establishing internally with their customers. The northern also includes Esmeralda, and it also includes different large groups such as the mine that is located in Round Mountain.
All right, blood donations are needed always. We'll tell you where you can go to help our community right after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Welcome back. Well, the need for blood donations is greater than ever. Vitalant, a nonprofit that collects blood from donors in cities nationwide, has teamed up with the Pahrump Nugget to provide local residents the opportunity to donate blood and plasma. Vitalant Communications Manager Brittany McLemore Estrella explains that need and how you can help.
We are celebrating our partnership of saving over 5,000 lives together with the Pahrump Nugget since 2003. So earlier this morning, we awarded 2 special awards to the Pahrump Nugget and to the coordinator who coordinates all of the blood drives here over the years. And we're so grateful for the partnership. You know, with the school and business closures, thousands of blood drives have been canceled, and it's resulted in a loss of over 364,000 uncollected blood donations. And with this impact, as well as the recent holidays, the blood supply has dropped by about 25%. Right now there is a critical need for type O blood. O negative is a universal blood type, so that is always in the highest demand since all hospital patients can accept O negative blood in their transfusion. But O positive blood is also critically needed right now, so anyone with a positive blood type can receive O positive. But all blood types are needed right now.
I just feel like I'm giving back. My daughter-in-law, when she gave birth, she needed 2 pints of blood in emergency situation. So ever since then, I felt like, you know, it was important to save her life that I needed to donate.
So those who have recovered from COVID-19 develop antibodies in their immune system. And these antibodies can be used to treat COVID-19 patients that are currently hospitalized. So convalescent plasma donations are collected at this blood drive and our upcoming blood drives. We have 2 blood drives coming up in February and March, and those will be on February 18th and March 18th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you can register to donate at bloodhero.com. You'll enter in your zip code and you can see the upcoming blood drives here in Pahrump. And I also want to mention that all blood donors will receive antibody test results with their blood donation. And what's so special about that is if you receive the positive antibody results in your private donor profile, you now have that opportunity to become a convalescent plasma donor and help save additional hospital patients' lives who are fighting for their lives in the hospital with COVID-19.
All right, let's go to your Medical Minute with Dr. Lewis.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical, healthcare the way you've always imagined it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lewis, a chiropractic physician here at Spring Mountain Medical. Is it true that once you go to a chiropractor, you have to go for the rest of your life? Answer: if you ask the same question to your dentist or your fitness trainer, the answer will be the same. People are trained from childhood about the importance of maintaining healthy teeth and a healthy body. However, knowledge of chiropractic hasn't been as well understood due to lack of research over the years. Spinal manipulation has existed as early back as 2700 BC in China. However, since the birth of chiropractic in 1895, new research, as described above, has shown considerable value and contribution to a person's well-being and is now accepted as a significant part of the healthcare system. My name is Dr. Lewis, and this has been a Medical Minute brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical.
Thanks, Dr. Lewis. In other medical news, atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is an irregular heartbeat that can cause poor blood flow. It can lead to blood clots, stroke, and in some cases, heart failure. Cleveland Clinic Dr. Osama Wazni says it's important to see your doctor if it feels like your heart flip-flops or skips a beat.
If we wait too long to address atrial fibrillation, it is more difficult for us to manage it.
Traditionally, medication is the first treatment used to manage intermittent AFib. If medication doesn't work, doctors will try a procedure called an ablation. Dr. Wozni led a clinical trial which found a certain type of ablation is safe and more effective as the initial treatment. Researchers looked at more than 200 patients at 24 hospitals around the U.S. Patients received the standard medication or a cryoballoon ablation. After a year, 75% of people who had the ablation were still free from AFib. In comparison, only 45% of people who took medication were still AFib free. Dr. Wozni says using ablation as the first treatment could keep AFib away longer and prevent it from getting worse.
So if you take into account the success rate of the ablation itself, 75% versus 45%, that's very good news for our patients. But also, if you take into account healthcare utilization, those patients took medication and a big proportion of them still ended up needing an ablation.
This was an FDA-regulated study, so it could change how doctors treat AFib in the future.
Well, we are seeing more solid-state hard drives in today's computers. Josh Osborne begins a 3-part series explaining the benefits of these super fast drives.
Hi, it's Josh with Pahrump Zone Great Computer Deals. Let's get right into it. It's time for another quick tutorial. Technology is always coming out with a claim to make your computer faster, but sadly, most of these innovations leave us totally disappointed. That trend has changed. Here's why you need a solid-state hard drive now. Part 1. Solid states have no moving parts, so they don't require any time to spin up to speed to allow you to access your information and data. Every command is instant with no need for any part movement. Great Computer Deals is here to help you upgrade your computer or provide a new one that will help you benefit from this awesome solid-state technology for way less than you think. Why trust a technician when you can trust a friend? Great Computer Deals is located at 1190 East Highway 372. Call us at 775-990-8833.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Actually, this is from last night. This was the view as we were driving home last night from the weathers, and oh my gosh, just the sunsets around here are incredible with the cloud cover. It's cleared out quite a bit. We'll see how tonight's sunset is looking, and I'm sure it'll be spectacular in its own way. We'll tell you all about the weather and everything you can expect this week when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Did you know on this date in 1913, Rosa Parks was born? Rosa Parks, yes, civil rights leader. When she came to Fairbanks, she was a nice little lady. My friend Tony picked her up at the airport in the limousine. He said, would you like to sit in front? She said, no, the back is fine. It's okay in a limousine. It's nice. Yeah, Fernley, 44 degrees is nice. Wow, look at that. 24 for a low tonight. Out in Fallon, you're at 45 degrees for a high today, 22 for a low. Carson City is 43 for a high and 25 for a low. Tonopah, the chillest spot in Nevada, 41 degrees for a high today, 20 for a low, and you're earning every degree of that. Goldfield, 44 for a high, 21 for a low. In Beatty, it's 56 degrees and 33 for a low. Amargosa, you see 61 degrees. Nice, crack the 60s. Good for you. 35 for a low tonight. That'll be all right. Nothing's freezing. Las Vegas, 62 degrees for a high today, 40 for a low. And out in Death Valley, 71 degrees, 46 for a low. And here in the Paradise Rump, where the air is pure, the grass is irrigated, and the stars are as big as pie plates at night, 56 degrees. We're going to see some stars here in just a second as the sun is slowly creeping into the desert west. 60 degrees was our high today. Winds pretty good, 10 miles per hour out of the north. A little bit of humidity, but not too many clouds. Sun rose this morning gloriously at 6:41 p.m. Setting right now. Look out, you're going to miss it. 5:14 p.m. is the official sunset, but it'll linger for a while in the skies. And last night, man, it was on fire, that sky. So check it tonight, see how you do. Northeasterly winds to 9 miles per hour as we head on in towards morning. It'll get down to about 36 degrees. And that humidity is staying with us, but we're going to have some clear skies for the next couple, 3 days. Look at this, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, beautiful. Clear skies, great sky watching weather this weekend. And temperatures all the way almost up to 70 degrees. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to get some hit and miss clouds. That'll shade things down, and temperatures will be in the mid-60s, so we're going to lose a couple degrees, but that's okay. Because look at those low temperatures tonight. In the low 40s, we're feeling good, man. That pool water is going to be excellent in not too long. I can't wait. Springtime's coming. All right, back to the desk. Here's Unette and Deanna.
Thanks so much, John.
Yes, thank you. Beautiful numbers, beautiful weather this Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.